Alright, so in this video here, we're going to talk about box plots, and we're going to talk about how box plots are made. Box plots are made by taking a list of numbers and splitting it into 4 equal groups. So if you notice here, the numbers are already in order. So what we're going to do is first, we're going to find the median. And the only way I can find the median is knowing the exact middle. And again, what's nice about these numbers is they're already in numerical order for us. So here, I'm going to find the median. Remember, the median is the number in the middle. So I'm going to look 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. And I see that 17 is my middle number. Now, that's split in half. Remember, box plots are split into 4s. So, simply how we find the other 2 here, and as you can clearly see here, 17, this is going to be my median. So I'm going to put a big M there for median. Now, I'm going to find the halfway point of just the lower half. So I'm going to look at the lower half here, and I'm going to find the median of just those 3 numbers. And I see that when I cross out, I go 1, 1, and 10 is the middle number between the lower half of numbers. So 10 is what we call quartile 1. This is our lower quartile. I'm just going to label it here though. I'm going to label it quartile 1. Remember, quartile 1 is where it's broken up, the first part where we break it up. Then I'm going to look at the second half of numbers here. This is called the upper half. So this is how we find our upper quartile. And I'm just going to take the median of these 3 numbers. So I'd go 1, 1. And here I can clearly see that 20 is where it's split. So 20 would actually be quartile 3. Now, we also have 2 other numbers that are pretty important in the box plot, and that's your lowest number and your highest number. This is also referred to as your minimum. So I'm going to put min for minimum. And then the highest number is known as your maximum. So I'm going to put maximum number over here. Okay, so even though we split the data in 4, there's 5 major points on a box plot. There's the minimum, which you're going to see here. I'm going to label it again on this graph. We have our minimum, and we have our maximum, which is our highest number. So remember, minimum is our lowest number, which is 5. Maximum is our highest number, which is 32. Now let's talk about what the box is. The box, right down the middle, is known as your median. Now remember, median is the middle. Now it doesn't have to be in the exact middle. It's going to be in the middle of the box because it's going to be the middle of your data, not necessarily the box. So here, we said up above our median was 17. And we can clearly see here that 17, this is our median. And then the box is formed by the quartiles. So remember, up above we said 10 was quartile 1. And if you notice, the box is lined up with 10 here. So our lower quartile, which is also known as quartile 1, is 10. So I'm going to put quartile 1 here, or Q1 for quartile 1. And then the last part of our box, or the ending part of our box, is made of quartile 3, which is our upper quartile. Remember we said 20 was quartile 3? So if you notice here, it lines up with 20 on our number line, and I'm going to label that quartile 3. So remember, box plots, we split into 4 equal parts, and the place where the list splits from the graph. So remember, there's still 5 major points. So the 5 major points to the graph are the minimum and maximum. The median is in the middle of the box. Remember, it does not have to be in the exact middle. And then we have our quartile 1 and quartile 3. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's practice some questions. Okay, and I'm going to do some labeling for myself. Even though I know it's out to the side, I still like to label things because then it kind of gets stuck in my head a little bit better. So I'm going to label this minimum over here, maximum, so max over here. I'm going to put an M for median here, and then I'm going to put Q1 and Q3 here to remember that's where my quartiles are. Now that I've got everything labeled, I'm going to go ahead and answer my questions. It says Dylan surveyed 100 students to find out how long it takes them to walk to school. He displayed the data with the box plots. So let's go ahead and let's read through the questions. It says, what was the least amount of time it took a student to walk? So remember, my least number is the very first dot I see. So I can see here my least was 2. So I'm going to put 2 for my answer. Then the next question, question number 2, asks what was the most amount of time it took a student to walk? And I know that most is my maximum. So I see here my maximum falls right in between 26 and 28. So I have to be careful with that. I can't assume it's 26 or 28. I have to see it falls right in between. So my maximum would actually be 27. So here, the most amount of time it took a student to walk would be 27. And then it says, what was the median time it took to walk to school? The median, remember, is the line in the middle of the box. Not necessarily directly in the middle, but it's in the box. So here, the median would be 14. So I'm going to put my median is 14. And then the quartiles are, well, remember, the quartiles are the edges of the box. So I'm going to look here. My quartile 1 is 10, and quartile 3 is between 20 and 22, so quartile 3 would then be 21. And that is how you read a box plot.